Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everyone. So, my name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug. And I'm coming on today to explain about business plans. Like June the 30th was the end of the fiscal year for some major corporations and for some businesses. And so, even if you are in getting grants, like that was the end of a grant period for some people. And so now we're in July and it's July 3rd. Happy holiday weekend to those of you who celebrate this holiday. But what I wanted to come on for is to help you get ready for the new funding season. Like we're in a new funding season. July 1st kicks off the next session. A lot of businesses have a fiscal year, right, that runs from July 1st to June 30th. And so at the point of July 1st, everything resets. Like their spending, the support, all of that resets. And so it's going to be paramount for you to get yourself together, to get your business together so that you can start receiving some of that funding that's coming up in this new cycle. And that's what this is about. This is about helping business owners to become more ready or ready for funding. And so today we're talking about business plans. So with business plans, if you are trying to get investors and if you're going after those big grants, then a resume, a business, I mean, there's so much you need in order to get yourself together. And so over the next few weeks, I want to have those type of conversations. Next week, next Sunday, I have the honor of having Dr. Love come on and talk about relationships. So I already had him booked. We're going to keep that booked, and he'll be with me next Sunday at 7. But this week, we're talking about business plans and we're talking about how to build a real business, right? Because there's so many businesses out here. People just starting whatever they think that'll work, and they're really not thinking about creating a real business. But I like having real business conversations with real business people. And so, for that reason, today I'm coming on talking about business plans. So, again, a business plan um, can be in many forms. You know, you can have your informal plan where it's just on a notepad or a napkin or whatever you try to form out the idea about your business that you have an idea for. And then you have the informal one that you just share with a few people to get their feedback and doing your research phase where you're just trying to figure it all out. And then you have that formal one. That formal one you can use to run your operations or to help you to bring on a partner or an investor and for you to actually have a goal that you're working toward. And so strategically looking at excuse me, strategically looking at how you can operate your business. Like it's a real living document. I love when I hear people say, I don't love it. I laugh when I hear people say, yeah, your business plan, you should come look at it once a week. Once a year. Every year you should go back at your business plan, look at it to see if there's any updates or any changes. But I challenge that. I think you should look at it monthly. Like it's a 12-month or more outline of what you should be doing. And so for that reason, I think monthly you should look at it as a living document that's going to help you strategically know if you're on target. And so for that reason, I suggest that people look at their business plans a little bit more than once a year. Like even if you just look at it quarterly, I still think you need to, in order to make sure that you adhere to it, right? I think that you need to take a more frequent look at it to make certain that you don't stray too far offline before you can reel yourself back in. Um, it is important for you as a business owner to know why. Why do you want a business plan? I'm sorry, these are allergies. I have not taken my allergy medicine today, and so I'm having the effects of it. So my apologies for this whole thing that I have going on here. I live in Tennessee, and in Tennessee, we have a lot of trees and plants that bloom all year round. And I'm probably allergic to about 90% of them. So that's what you hear. You hear the rattle from that. But getting back on topic. So knowing why you need a business plan. Like, what do you need a business plan for? Do you need it to help you figure out your strategy for how you're going to operate your business? Or do you need it so that you can share it with someone? Or do you need it just to say you have it? Like, knowing what your reasoning is, why, your why for wanting a business plan will help you determine which type of business plan you need. And then also, how will how do you approach planning? Like, a business plan is that, it's a plan. And so how do you approach planning? Are you one of those people that have to get away and get, in a solitary area where you can be by yourself and just think things through, like in a place that inspires you? Or are you a person that you like to have people with you that can fill out the different components of your business so that you have an expert's input on what you plan to do? Or are you somewhere in between? Like, you're not this one and you're not that one, but you're more or less here, excuse me, and you do a little bit of both. So then your understanding your approach to business planning will help you also to understand what type of business plan you're going to create. And then when you think about the why, then what is it that you plan to do with this business plan? Like, are you going to operate your business, get some funding, or you just want to have it just to have it? So, with that being said, the informal business plan is, again, it can be on a napkin, it can be on a composition book, in a notebook. Like, I keep these books I call Dreams and Things. So I have this book in my purse that I carry with me, because a lot of times, have you noticed that when you have these great ideas, you rarely have something to write with or something to write on? And so I keep pen and a book in my purse so that I have something to write with and I have something to write on. Because once those thoughts leave you, then you be like, I had this thought, but I can't think of it now. It rarely comes back. And so for that reason, I have my Dreams and Things book. So just you have the same, somewhere where you can just notate those ideas that you come up with. And then an operational plan talks about how will you operate your business, like the background, the back office. A lot of times I find, and I was having a conversation yesterday. I had a meetup yesterday, a coffee and conversations, and they were talking about the the whole operations part of your business. Like, one of them mentioned, oh well, I haven't even considered how I could put automation in my business. Like, there's very few businesses that couldn't use some type of automation to make things easier, even if that's just your accounting phase. Like, even if that's just your delivery phase. Like, what can you do to increase putting technology in your business and get away from doing all the manual things, and then using technology to help make operating your business easier? A lot of times we don't think about the operations piece. We don't think about how we can add automation to our operations, and we wouldn't have to manually keep up with all these receipts, or manually make all those notations, or manually do processes like when we're creating things. So, understanding that. And then I want to talk about the 5 parts of every business plan, regardless of whether you're wanting to bring somebody on, or you're trying to get funding, or you're trying to have a partnership, or you want your employees to understand where the business is going and what your vision is. So, one of the first part of a business plan is an executive summary. And I was reading some information that talked about the executive summary should be like your 15-minute pitch, right? So it should tell you everything that a person would want to know about your business, but you want to keep it no more than 2 pages. And I challenge people because I like to keep it a couple of paragraphs. A lot of times people don't want to read a lot of information. Like, and sometimes we can be wordy just to be wordy. So having a having a couple of paragraphs that summarizes everything that's in your business plan, that's the executive summary. But the thing about that is you don't write it first, you write it last. So writing it last helps you to kind of summarize, is exactly what it says, summarize everything that's in the plan following it. And so for that reason, again, a couple to three paragraphs at most, but you're just giving a 15-minute pitch, I mean 15-minute pitch, a 15-second pitch. Like you are giving people an idea of everything they need to know that you want them to know when they put that paper down, if they don't get to the rest of the plan. The rest of the plan gets in depth. So you're talking about describing your business. You're talking about where did it start? How did it start? Like, can you articulate your story and tell people why your business became what it is today? So then articulating that and telling people exactly how your business began and what your purpose is, your mission statement. Do you have a mission statement? Do you have a vision statement? Okay, so the mission statement talks about your purpose. Why are you here? Why this business? Like, why is this business even needed? Understanding who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do will be your mission statement. And then your vision statement is like, where are you going to take this business? You know, what happens? A lot of times people don't include exit strategies. Like, what happens when you get tired of it? Do you sell it? Do you give it to a relative? Or do you just close your doors and it's gone forever? But making those decisions will help you to form out how you're going to build this business. And so for that reason, you're going to put, your in your vision statement, you're going to put a part of your exit strategy. Like, what happens when I'm no longer wanting to do this? And then another thing that I find that people don't have, they really need, our core values. A lot of times when we are doing business with people whose core values do not match ours, we get some kind of way. We get thrown off track and distracted, and we have to, um, bargain our prices down, bargain our value. Like when you are dealing with people who do not share the core values that you have, it becomes very difficult at times to negotiate, to talk about what's fair on both sides. I love win-win relationships. So knowing what your core values, what 3 to 5 things that are deal breakers or that speaks well of your company. Like, this is where we won't compromise. Is honesty and integrity. Are you reliable, dependable? Like, are there any guarantees that you can offer your customers for your product or service? So then understanding what those are and sharing those as your core values so people know. A lot of times when I'm telling people about going to get grants, I tell them, find the core values, find their mission statement, find the funders mission statement, find the funders vision statement, and find the funders core values and see if they match yours. Because when you work with people who are aligned with your vision, aligned with your mission statement, and aligned with your core values, excuse me, then it's not as bad. You have a lot in common, and because you have those commonalities, you can build relationships that are meaningful, not just to you but to them as well. And so understanding those 3 things will help you to know who you need to work with and who it may be a challenge to work with, right? And so understanding that, understanding how you're structured. I know. Sole proprietorship is the easiest way to get in business. It is. And many people start out that way. But when you have assets, you may want to talk to a business attorney about what is the best business structure for you. And one way you can do that is the Small Business Development Center in your area actually offers a consultation with an attorney in a group setting and consultations with an accountant in group setting. So you can ask kind of questions, pointed questions that will help you to understand which is the best structure for you. as a business owner, there in business, there is no one size fit all. It would be good if there were, if there was, but they're not. There's not a one size fit all. So there are things and variables that you have in your life and your business that need to be considered when you're talking about structuring your business. But you want to put that information under the business and structure section of your business plan. Another thing is marketing research. Like, have you, a lot of people, and I know I ask questions to business owners about who are the top 3 or 4 competitors, and they're like, I don't have any competitors, but you do. Whether they're directly or indirect, you do have competitors for your services, for your products. And so understanding who the top performers are will help you more than you know, because that will help you to do a SWOT analysis. That's SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis is how you look at the S and W is internal. You're looking at your strengths, your weaknesses, and what you're putting in place. You know, and when you talk about weaknesses, a lot of people cringe, they don't want to tell you about their weaknesses. But if you can mitigate, mitigate identifying what your weaknesses are, and then talking about how you mitigate the impact of your weaknesses. That could be hiring someone, that could be taking a course, that could be adding a staff member, or that could be using somebody in your circle to perform those tasks because that's their strength, even though it's your weakness. And so just talking about how you mitigate your weaknesses, great opportunity for someone who's interested in your business to see that you're a rounded thinker, that you think critically about your business on every aspect, and you already have things in play. The second part of the SWOT analysis, the opportunities and threats. So the O is opportunities. So if once you know who is playing in the field, your industry, then you can say, what are they doing right and what are they doing wrong? Well, when they're doing things right, those become threats because the market has said these should be done if we're going to do business with you. So it gives you an opportunity to know what's already been done in the industry that is acceptable. And then it gives you a benchmark to build on, because the operations part of that, the opportunity part of that is you're going to do what you don't see being done, right? That becomes an immediate opportunity for you, in that where there's a weakness in the industry, you have a new idea, and your idea could be the very thing that rides you to your success. So taking that look, the first part, SW, being internal, and then the OT being external, doing a SWOT analysis and putting that in your business plan is going to help you, especially when you're doing your marketing research. Like, look at what's going on in your city, in your state, in your nationally. What's going on in your industry? Knowing your industry, even if it's frying fish, like what's going on in the fish industry? What does the market look like? We have inflation on everything right now. So how does that impact your industry? Is there an opportunity to grow, or do you see that your industry is shrinking? Like, answering key questions about your future, and does that align with what you say your vision is for your business? So just talking through some marketing research. And again, you can get some free help at the Small Business Development Center in your area. You can go to SBA, that's Sam Bob Apple.gov, and find where to go in your city. Most times it's in a major area. There are a few rural areas that have support as well. But if you're near a major city, then chances are there's probably an office there, or a satellite office or something. And then with this world of COVID, many people are online doing the consultations and those things. So it doesn't really matter where you are. If you're talking to somebody in that state, then you can probably do an online thing. So yeah, so look for the Small Business Development Center nearest you and use it. The other thing is management and personnel. Okay, this is where I kind of make jokes with people about management and personnel, because a lot of times as a new business owner, we put our relatives in positions. Like my cousin's going to be the chef or the cook or the whatever. Make sure when you're writing your business plan that the people you have leading your ship, that they have credentials that say they know what they're doing before they get on your ship, right? And if they don't have those credentials, then are you willing to invest in them getting those credentials? Because when you're talking about doing a business plan, you want to look as you want to look as viable as possible. And they want to know that you have people at the helm who's running the ship that knows how to run the ship. So you want to make sure that you have the people who are operating your boat, your ship, that they have credentials or are able to get credentials, because that is what you want to put on your business plan. I always say, this is where you get to tell Pookie, well, you can work with me, but you can't be on the business plan because you don't have your degree or you haven't trained in that field, or I need to support you in getting you prepared to take over that responsibility. So personnel is important. Management is very important. Having resumes about for the people who are your partners, who are your key team leaders, and talking about their credentials and what their successes have been prior to them coming on board. Because an investor or a funder or somebody who is interested in your business wants to know that you can make good business decisions by putting key people, the right person in the right place, right? And so you want to make sure you do that. And then another thing is making sure that your hiring process. We were talking the other day, yesterday, in that meetup, and we talked about a person who is having to fill 6 positions. Chances are that person's hiring process is not where it needs to be, because a lot of times people download an application from the internet and then they use that to hire people for their business, and those generic applications aren't good because they don't ask the key questions you need to have in order for you to get a person that has the shortest learning curve possible. So knowing how to hire well helps you to know how to build your business quickly. Like if you have a lot of turnover, that's not the people that's applying, that's you and your process. So looking at your HR process, there are so many HR professionals out here, and you want to get somebody that has, I think they call it SHRM, it's SHRM. Like those are the professionals in the HR industry. And so you want to get someone that has that certification and someone who has that background to cover your HR process, and probably to be your HR consultant, because you can get in a lot of trouble hiring and firing people incorrectly. Like the Department of Labor can come after you, and they don't come to just say hi. They actually bring penalties with them. So you don't want to be that. You don't want to have the Department of Labor coming to get you. You hear about it happening with other businesses, and you don't think about my little rinky-dink business in this little small place could be on the news because I did something wrong in my hiring process. So getting an HR professional to help you figure out your hiring process and how you handle HR conflicts that do come up when you hire the wrong person, excuse me, or the person you hired is not the person who showed up to work. So yeah, so you need an HR consultant to make sure that you're hiring correctly. And then the final piece of your business plan consists of financial statements. I don't care what you are trying to do with your business. You need to understand the income statement or the profit and loss statement, because those two are interchangeable. You need to understand the cash flow statement, how money comes in your business and what happens to it and how it goes out. You need to understand the balance sheet as far as your assets and liabilities, long term, short term, And what does that look like a clean picture of your business health, financial health. So knowing those three statements, I don't care what you are building your business plan for, that education alone will help you as a business owner to make good decisions, because you will understand the financial health of your business. And so in the basic business plan, it needs to be there. In the comprehensive business plan, more than that needs to be there. So just making sure that you have added these five pieces, right? Executive summary, and there are others, but these are generally the five pieces, the five sections that need to be in your business plan. The executive summary, which you write last, the business description and structure, the market research and strategies. So that's talking about your marketing strategy and your sales strategy, because they're different, right? Marketing gets you paid. Marketing gets you known, sales gets you paid. And then understanding your management and personnel. And the final piece is the financial statements. So those five pieces. So I came on to this week talk about business plans, because it is a new funding season, and I know you're going to need business plans, especially if you go after those 25,000 and up grants. You're going to need a business plan. If you go after that in loans, you're definitely going to need a business plan. So I thought I would come on in this new funding season that this starts the 2022 to 2023 cycle for some businesses and corporations. And so since everything has been reset, I want to make sure that you're ready. So don't look for nothing to probably happen until probably the end of July, but still you can start getting notifications of funding cycles and people taking applications for different things. And I want you to be prepared. If you need more information, I did put the link to my website, getthebusiness.org, in the comments. You are welcome to contact me, to email me your question or comment. And in addition to that, if you're interested in being a guest on the Business Plugs Mixer, I am booking for August. So if you have a Sunday in August that you would like to join me, then I've also put the link to that in the comments as well. My name is Linda Murray Bullock. They call me the Business Plug. And so today I come on to plug you in to business plans. Like, do you have one? Do you need one? If you do, um, reach out and touch to me. Reach out and give me a call on my website, getthebusiness.org, and let's see how we can move you forward. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. We'll talk to you next Sunday.